Keep it 100 Uncle Mike School Sports on this Thursday night with my man, Coach V. What's up, Coach V?
What's going on?
Man, Thursday night, Coach. A little closer to the weekend, Coach. But hey, a little great news for you. Just got announced the new head coach for the Lady Cricket Oak. What up, Coach? How you feel?
Well, I feel good. I mean, great opportunity. I like what administration had to say. So, and I felt good about the situation. And so I gladly took it and ready to roll with it.
Well, Coach, you coached at a lot of different places, man. Like I said, you get to put your footprint down on a program and struggle a little bit. Like that, I think you're the perfect man for the job. You get to come on and, try to turn this program around like you did Harrod and Luther and some of the other schools you've been at. So not only are they going to get a great coach, a great mentor, but a guy that's also going to get these girls' names out there that people don't know a lot about Cricket Oak. I think you're the perfect person for the job. And I think it's going to be fantastic what you can do over there. I know it's going to take you some time to get your players in and do the things you want to do because, like I said, it's a program that's up and coming. But if there's anybody that can change it around, it can be you.
Well, I appreciate it. Like I said, the administration had the same vibe you just mentioned, and that was the selling point is your administration is looking 10 years, 5 years down the line of where they want this thing to be, and they're making changes now, and they're getting ready, and I wanted to be a part of that, and they brought me in and knew the past history I had with Luther, Tuttle, Shawnee, and Harris, so it's a good fit, great fit for me, great fit.
No, Coach, I think it's wonderful. Like I said, congratulations to you and the wife, and I know she's gonna be right there telling you what to do because everybody think you're the man with the myth, but it's really her, Coach. We're keeping it 100 here because we on the 100 show, Coach. We are on the 100, folks. I'm glad to be back on the show, but you know what time it is. Anytime we start saying keep it 100, it's closer to football season, folks. It's closer to football season. But like I say, Coach, we got a special guest now. I'm excited about the guest because we are the first one to bring this, man. I'm talking about, Coach, bring a young man that started his own business, Sync, with his, with the NIL. I'm excited, Coach. I don't know anybody else that's doing this. This guy comes from a great background, played basketball at Edmond Memorial, went off to OU, graduated from Oklahoma. His siblings graduated from Oklahoma State. I don't know what they was thinking. We'll let them slide because that's his sisters. But hey, it's okay because we got somebody in the house is a boomer sooner, so we good with that. But Coach, like I said, we're gonna have Michael Greene on, man, that started his own company. I know he's trying to get this started, folks, and I'm excited for him because I've known this young man when he was over there hooping for the Edmond Bulldogs, Edmond Memorial Bulldogs. I know he got a chance to go play in the playoffs and went to state, so we'll let him talk about that. We're going to let him talk about his new journey, though, folks. He stepped away from being at OU, and now he's starting his own business, and that's what it's all about. I'm the kind of thing he's going to be like Jerry Maguire when he's going to say, show me the money. Show me the money.
Show me the money.
That's what it's all about. Show me the money.
Jerry, you better go.
Over here and keep it 100.
Money.
We ain't going to hold him up. We're going to let him come over and tell his story, what he got going with his new company, Sync. And so I'm excited to bring Michael Greene to the stage. What's up, Big Mike?
What's up, guys? I appreciate you having me on, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hey, Mike, man, this is what we do here, man. You get to have fun. You get to laugh. You get to cut up. We're going to probably make some noise. We're going to probably make some boo-boos, but that's okay. That's why we can edit the show. But glad you can come and join us, man. I know you just started. You branch off on your own and you just started your own little company. I'm excited for it, man. Like I said, I got a chance to watch you grow up as a young man playing over there with the Edmond, with the Edmond Bulldogs, Memorial Bulldogs. But Mike, for the listeners that don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, like you said, Tony, grew up here in Edmond. Been here for about the last 20 years. Went to Edmond Memorial. After that, went on to OU for undergrad. Decided law school was my next step. Went to the University of Tulsa Law School. Went ahead and passed the bar back in 2021. And then I spent some time in a couple different roles in OU's athletic department. Worked in compliance for about 2.5, 3 years, and then transitioned over to the director of volleyball operations for 2 years, and just recently decided to take the next step in my career and pursue what I'm passionate about, and that's NIL and helping student athletes as far as NIL opportunities go in the agency space.
Well, Mike, that's big time because, like I said, a young man that played the sports and being around OU and then what you do with the compliance and coming over to like I said, the volleyball operation side. So the ins and outs. And what these kids need these days because like there's a lot of people out there doing the thing for the wrong reason. But folks, I'm telling you right now, that's why I got him on the show because we're going to keep it 100 because I know this guy's going to do the right things. His dad's a big time businessman. Is did a great job with our company that I work for, and he's going to follow in his father's footsteps and being a great leader when he is. And like I said, just a great young man, and just like I said, he's going to do a great job. So I know he's trying to get his name out there, and and that's what we want to do on this show. We want to help him get his name out there, and like I said, and hopefully he can find some young men and women. It ain't just men; it's women that he can represent and help them any way they can. So, but like Mike, before we get into all that though, tell us a little bit about your hooping days back at Edmond Memorial because you played with some great players, and like I said, you guys went pretty far. I don't know if y'all won the state championship. I mean, it's been years ago, and I've gotten old. I was skinnier back then when you was playing. Now I'm an old chunky man. But tell us a little bit about your back days when you was hooping for Edmond.
Yeah, it feels like forever ago, but I was very fortunate to play with some really great players. I remember my first 3 years with the program. We went to 3 straight state titles. We won 2 of them, and then had some guys move on to the next level. And my senior year, we came up just a little bit short of making the state tournament, but we made state tournament. We didn't make it to state. But yeah, it was a great ride. I was very fortunate to be along so many great players and great coaches that have done big things at the next level.
That's big time, though. Like I said, man, 1-2 state champ, folks. That's pretty good, especially being in high school. It's hard to win one, man. So he got a chance to put them rings up, and he can, anytime he wants to break them out, he could say, put that ring on me like Beyonce. But Mike, like I said, that's a good deal. But Mike, tell us a little bit about OU, though, because like I said, you went to OU, you did the
compliance.
The compliance, man. I got me talking fast, but the compliance, tell me what that's like because I know that can be tough, trying to keep these young men and women out of trouble. So what was that kind of like?
Yeah, no, compliance was a great opportunity. It was a first step for me outside of law school. I knew I wanted to get involved in college athletics, and it was kind of a natural transition after law school. I had done some internships during law school over at Oral Roberts compliance office, and kind of fell in love with it there and knew that's what I naturally wanted to do next. But yeah, it was a great experience. I learned a lot. I mean, just having relationships and seeing what the inside of college athletics really looks like. Compliance is kind of that 30,000 foot view. I mean, you're working with coaches on every staff, and just kind of seeing the bigger picture, getting to understand how things operate and where the sport is really moving towards. With all the legislation, and obviously you guys are well aware, all the changes in college athletics over the last couple of years, we've never seen anything like it. So getting to really work in that and be hands-on was a great experience. I specifically handled all of the initial eligibility, so everything for high school kids as far as what they need to do to get into school and become eligible, and then the transfer portal. I handled all of that as well, along with signing day and national letters of intent. So it was a great experience. Built a lot of really good relationships, and something I'll always be proud of.
Man, you talk about the transfer portal, boy. I tell you, that probably could be a nightmare itself. All these kids jumping in the portal. Like I said, it's changed so much from the time you was in college now to now where we're at now this day that these kids are jumping in the portal. I know me and Vic, Coach Vic talked about a little bit on our other show. Folks, you can always tune into Between the Line Girls Hoops. You can always catch the greatest high school girls basketball. But tonight it's all about Mike Greene. But in keep it 100. But like I said, Mike, it has changed so much. What's going on with with the sports and kids jumping in the portal? But I think now they're trying to get a hand on it because you got so many kids is every year it feel like they're chasing that dollar. And I know you like that part, but they're chasing that dollar. And I think back in the day I could tell you who's on every OU's football roster, OSU's roster. But now, man, these kids jump in and jump out, so it's kind of hard to keep up with a team. And it's hard to cheer for your team because one day he might be playing for you, the next day he's playing for Texas or Texas Tech or somebody else. So I know that was kind of tough trying to do that part. But Mike, we're gonna get into it though. What inspires you to start the business sync in sports management? What made you start that?
Yeah, so I mean, growing up, I was always passionate about sports, and I knew I wanted to go to law school. My intention after that was to always transition into college athletics. I thought compliance was a great opportunity for me, to really understand what college athletics is all about. Like I said, it's kind of the 30,000 foot view. You're dealing a lot with the conference and the NCAA and how to protect student athletes from an over the top type of view. So I really learned a lot from that experience. But then I knew the next step for me was to try to transition over to the team side of things, and that's where my director of volleyball operations experience was huge for me. Just really getting to see the behind the scenes of what really goes on the day to day, and kind of the realities of what these athletes deal with in this evolving landscape. Got a lot of great experience doing that for the last couple of years, and ultimately, I knew my next step was to pursue this agency space. I knew I wanted to get into representation and help student athletes navigate some of these decisions and what's kind of coming next in the college athletics landscape. And being able to have some of that experience really led me to where I'm at now. And I'm really excited about what I'm trying to build here with Sync and trying to help some of these student athletes navigate some of these opportunities.
Good stuff. Coach V, you got any?
Yeah, when you're a compliance officer and you're on that end, how many times do you deal with somebody like yourself that you're trying to do now? I mean, is that a compliance officer, or is there an in-between person between what you are now and they would come to you and then the player? I mean, who do you contact first? I mean, when you're trying to get a player, is it the player or the program?
From the agent's perspective?
Yes.
From the agent's perspective, you're probably reaching out to the student athletes first. That's
Okay.
really your first point of contact as far as actually getting into the representation and who you're going to represent. But I would say every institution is probably a little bit different in how they handle it. I know OU had recently, during my time in compliance, created a specific NIL department who helps facilitate some of these opportunities for student athletes, and they do a great job. But yeah, I would say student athletes are really the first point of contact for the agents and who they're going to represent.
What's the NIL like for say volleyball female? I mean, were you on the women's side or men's side? I know there's both at OU.
Women's at OU. I would say it's probably a little bit different. Every institution has sports that they prioritize more than others. Right. OU is more probably that traditional third-party NIL, where you're going out and finding opportunities with local businesses and brands and things of that nature. Whereas some schools have some of the rev share money that they share with their with the student athletes directly. Right. OU doesn't participate in rev share for volleyball at this moment, but there are some schools out there that do.
Texas Tech kind of being that one to kind of study how they did that in football. I mean, is it co-op or something like? It's a co-op deal in it, not with the NIL, and then you have what the school's giving them, but yet then there's another section to that, and it does get kind of confusing when you're trying to figure out.
Yeah, it's hard to stay on top of. There's been so many changes in such a short period of time with the advent of collectives and third-party NIL, and now the schools can pay the athletes directly. It's pretty hard to stay on top of just with all the changes.
Okay. I mean, it gets confusing. I'm telling you, I was watching the ESPN or whatever, Paid Full or whatever that special was, and I'm telling you what, you do need an attorney for that just to navigate through them waters to make sure that you're doing the right thing. So there is a need for what you're doing.
Hey, but Coach, the thing about it, he is an attorney too. So I mean, you're getting both. Yeah. You're getting both worlds. You get an agent, and you got a guy that knows what's going on. And that's why I think that's why he's going to be very successful at this, because I was talking to Press's mom, at Arkansas, and that's what she said. She had an attorney. And then she had like an NIL, but Michael's both. So you're going to get both worlds, because he can write the laws out or write the paperwork out that they need. And I think that's why he's going to be very successful, because she was saying the NIL guy was trying to get more money, then she had to end up going with an attorney. But now you getting both worlds with him. So, hey, you ain't got to do nothing but go to Mike, Mr. Greene. He going to take care of you. You ain't got to worry about going to go get that NIL guy or that attorney. You got it all right here with my man Sync at Mr. Michael Greene. So I just think that's why, he's going to be very successful what he's doing with this new business of his. And like I said, Mike, I want to ask you, what makes your business different from any other sports, company though?
Yeah, I think what makes Sync a little bit different from some of the other ones you see out there is kind of the background that I have. I think I have a little bit of a unique perspective just because I've worked in college athletics from multiple different angles.
Mhm.
Whether it was compliance, you kind of got to see how decisions got made. You understand what kind of makes the coaches tick, and then when you move over to the volleyball side of things, or really any sport where you're inside the team operations, you get a better understanding of what these athletes deal with on a day-to-day basis and kind of how they can create opportunities for themselves. So, as you guys know, college athletics is evolving faster than ever before, and NIL completely changed the conversation because now these athletes are able to create value for themselves monetarily, but at the same time, recruiting and the transfer portal have made things more complex than ever. So really, there's just more opportunity, but there's also more pressure and more decisions that these athletes have to navigate. So
Yes,
I think my perspective of having worked in college athletics for a while and seen things from a couple different angles, along with that legal background, kind of gives me helps me approach things from a professional standpoint and gives me the ability to assist these athletes in kind of negotiating for them and helping them understand some of the terms that are associated with these opportunities.
See, that's good right there, Coach. I mean, he got you.
Yeah.
He killing two birds with one stone. I mean, I got to give the man a hand on that. Man on that. Hey, at hard work pays off, folks. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. You're talking about a student athlete that went, played high school basketball, could have probably wouldn't play college ball, but you know what? He said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna hang up these cleats and put this ball away, but I'm gonna go get my, get my degree. Went to law school, graduated from OU in Tulsa. So you're not talking about Tulsa. Anybody can't get in Tulsa. That's why excuse me, folks. I know people that cheer for Tulsa in football, but that's why you can't get a lot of good athletes in Tulsa because they got to be able to pass the grade, coach. They got to be able to pass. If you can't pass, you can't play. And that's why Tulsa sits at 2-12 every year. But it's okay. But Michael came out good because he graduated there. But Michael, I got to ask you again. How can you help athletes build their brand and maximize the NIL opportunities? But what can you do to help these guys, get their brand up and also maximize the NIL money too? Because right now I think the money is crazy, but hey, the more money it is, the more money we can put in these kids' pockets though.
For sure. Yeah. I think a lot of it starts with kind of understanding that each athlete's journey is different and therefore their goals and aspirations are different as well. So for me, it's really about learning what their story is and what their interests are. And then once you have that information, then going out to try to source and identify partnerships that align with that. A lot of athletes already have opportunities around them. They just may not know how to position themselves or take advantage of those opportunities. And that's where I'm hoping Sync Sports can come in to help.
Good stuff.
Well,
good stuff.
So I have I have a daughter. She's going to sign an NIL deal. I think I know everything. Do I really need someone like you? I'm sure you get that brought up kind of, mom and dad think they got it handled. They know it. But what's the advantage and what's the negative of doing it, navigating it on your own? I mean, I'm sure it gets brought up. Like, I think I got it. We got it, and you really don't. I mean, you really need somebody to help guide you.
Yeah, as this landscape continues to evolve, these deals are becoming more and more complex, and the language in terms of some of these deals can really be difficult for somebody who doesn't have a legal background or just that understanding to kind of navigate. So that's where I'd say having somebody that understands what some of these contracts really mean and what these terms require of the student athletes. That's where I think having an attorney or somebody that has that kind of legal background will be helpful in making sure these student athletes understand exactly what it is that they're signing.
No, is that the legal background that comes in? Like, what was it? The gentleman at a college out football quarterback, he didn't get paid his NIL, but maybe he didn't have a lawyer to make sure he's got that. I mean, that's the package that you're bringing in that background is that lawyer to say, you're my agent, my NIL agent, but yet you're also my lawyer. So when a school doesn't pay me, you're handling that business for me. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. You're there to make sure that both sides hold up their end of the bargain. You want the student athlete to fulfill whatever terms that they've agreed to for whatever third-party brand they're associated with, or the university itself, if it's a rev share deal. You want both sides to uphold their end of the bargain, and that's where I think the attorney can come in and kind of make sure that everything is 100,
Mm-hmm. You can go and say, man, you say keep it 100. We love it. We love it.
Yeah.
But Mike, because I had a son that wrestled. He didn't go get on. I think he got some money on the table. However that works. He's out of school. I could talk now, but you look at a lot of these kids. You talk about they might not get paid, and I think that's where you really come in there. Like Coach B just said, is that you got both sides. You're the NIL agent, but you're also the attorney. So you see a lot of these kids, man. They come from not having a lot, and this is when mom and dad they want the big juggler, they want the big time money, they want we got to go get this 700, we got to go get this bag and all this stuff. But you got to realize these kids don't know you got to pay tax on this stuff. So can you educate us a little bit on this? Because I think some of these kids that they get all this money, then it runs out and then you don't get drafted, because some of these kids are making more money than guys that's in the NFL or that's you got college kids making twice as much as a rookie coming in as on a rookie contract. Now you got women and girls basketballs making $400,000-$500,000. Ain't never played a D1 game yet. So can you kind of educate us a little bit, how the taxes and stuff work and where a kid could get caught up, messed up if he don't have the right representative for him?
Yeah, absolutely. There are definitely situations that these kids need to be aware of. They are taxed on their NIL deals. So any agent should be advising their clients, these student athletes, that you need to set aside some of that money, just like anybody who has a job does, because you are going to pay taxes on this. So I think it's important to not only give them that advice, but probably set them up with a team or develop a plan together, depending on the individual student athlete that you're representing, to make sure that they understand some of the risks that are involved with this and make sure they're setting themselves up right for their future.
Are the taxes paid by the university? I know when you're a professional athlete, your taxes come from where you play the game at. It varies. In college, is it coming from OU, Oklahoma, if you play at Oklahoma? And does that matter when you're looking at your tax bracket from state tax? And if I'm a college athlete and I got a state over here, it's going to charge 20% of state tax. The school over here is getting state free, like Texas maybe. Does that really play a difference when you're talking as an agent? Those are dollars that you're advising a kid what school maybe to go to. One has state tax, one doesn't. Does stuff like that matter at all?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that it's hard with all the changes across legislation from each of these individual states passing up patchwork laws, determining what they will and won't allow in their states to give themselves a leg up in recruiting. So that for sure is something that you see out there right now. That's why, so many politicians and everybody are so involved in trying to get a federal uniform standard so that everybody's operating under the same rules, because right now there are states that definitely have advantages that others do not.
So Mike,
you didn't think about that, did you?
No.
See, I'm just saying, like I'm looking at two colleges and I like one a lot, but you know what? They're going to charge me 18% state tax. This
Coach,
is tax free. I'm just
Coach,
saying.
you're exactly right. That's what I was going to ask Mike, you got these high school kids getting out. I was sitting there talking to somebody yesterday about a young man, and I'm going to keep it 100 because that's what this show's about. A young man, I'm not going to say what school he came from. He went from one school to the next school, played tight end, plays basketball, and they said that the school gave him $10,000. Mike, is that happening really in high school now? Are these kids getting that kind of money? So would you represent a high school kid to get him some money? I don't know. I'm just saying, because that's the case. I got a little hooper. She can hoop a little bit. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like I said, every state has a little bit different laws as it relates to being able to represent high school athletes. But if the right opportunity presented itself, I'd be more than happy. If somebody needed my help and it was a good fit for both of us, I'd be more than happy to step in there.
Man, this kid is bright, man. When you sit there and listen to a young man, I'm telling you right now, man. He I know he an agent and all that. He'll be a hell of a divorce lawyer too. I tell you right now, folks. I'm telling you right now, folks. He gonna get you what you need. So Mike, it's just good to see, you grow up and see what you're doing, man, and the stuff that you're talking, because, a lot of people really need to be educated in this business right now. Is really, really hot. And I think you're going in at the right time because, like I said, talking to Miss Precious, she's talking about, her, daughter's getting represented. And, and she said one person was trying to rob her and she had to get an attorney. But like I said, with you're going to get both in one package. And I think that's why these people, need to jump on and get on, get with you, because you can be able to represent a lot of kids in Oklahoma, folks. He's here from Oklahoma. His daddy played college football in Illinois. He's played in the Rose Bowl. So, I mean, he comes from a great background family. Dad's big and politician. I mean, I would never want to sit down and I guess you two probably battle. I mean, I guarantee you two have battles. Wait, listen to you talk and listen to him talk. Man, I love to be at that kitchen table just to hear you two go back and forth, kind of like a chess game. But I'm just saying you right now, you tell this young man is very educated and he knows what he's talking about. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to jump on board with, with his new company and let him represent you, because I mean, he's going to take care of you on both ends. You're not going to get one piece or not the other piece. You're going to get both pieces all together.
Mm-hmm.
So like Mike, like I said, I'm really, really super proud of you though, man, what you're going to do with your company. Before we close it out though, what is the long-term vision for Sync and the sports management team though? I mean, sports team.
Yeah, so long-term vision for Sync is to really develop into a trusted resource for athletes as they try to navigate this new era of college athletics. So right now we're really focused on trying to grow relationships with athletes, with brands, with people throughout the sports community. So at the end of the day, our goal is to connect athletes with opportunity and really help them try to build something meaningful for themselves long-term.
Well, that's big time. So right now, do you have any leads to any, any young men and women that wants to get represented from you?
I got a couple people I'm targeting, but we'll keep that confidential until we get them.
Oh, no, that's cool. That's cool. But I mean, let's tell people, how they can reach you though. I know you got a business card and you got more stuff coming. Tell people how they can reach you and if they are looking to get represented, a good way to get a hold of you.
For sure. Website, Sync Sports MGMT Management, syncsportsmgmt.com. Socials will be Sync Sports MGMT.
And you also got a Instagram page, right?
Yep, Instagram page is up and running. Website's up and running. And then my email is mgreen@syncsportsmgmt.com.
That's it. That's big time.
Is consultation Tony, if someone had a question, does it cost them anything to visit with you and see what options they have?
Nope, consultations will absolutely be free, and then we'll discuss what fee structures and everything will look like that. But I plan to keep it pretty standard across the board and make sure I'm treating these athletes fair and representing them to the best of my ability.
Okay. Well, folks, like I said, we want him to be part of our team, not, as far as money, none of that, but we want to help him grow his brands like what we're doing with our own brands with, Keep It 100 and Between the Line Girls Hoops, because I see this opportunity that, us having a connection with a lot of young men and women that, we want him to get represented. We want them to get represented by somebody that's good, that's going to take care of them. So any young man or women that's looking to get represented, I just say, give Michael, because like I said, I think he's going to take care of you. And like you said, you're getting both in one bunch. You got a guy that's going to take care of you on the NIL deal. You got a guy that's going to take care of you on the attorney deal. Instead of paying an attorney a fee, then you're paying another NIL person a fee. You got it all in one. So I think that's what, he's going to be able to represent a lot of people. And a lot of people's going to come to him because they don't have to go to two different people. So I think that's great though, man. I think it's great, Mike. I think you're going to be very successful. I think once you get, I don't think you're going to have to crawl. Most people say you got to crawl before you walk. I think you're going to come out sprinting. So, I just think once you get going, you're going to be too damn busy. They're probably going to be like, hey, wait a minute. But I think, whoever you get and whoever you get to represent, men and women, you're going to do a damn great job doing it though. So, Coach V, anything else before we let this go? I know he want to go watch some Thunders go down tonight.
I do appreciate the knowledge, and I think it's something that not a lot of kids think about, and they get blindsided. And even just something about like $50,000 is still a lot of money to be protected. That needs somebody like you, even for a small amount. It's better to go ahead and pay that fee instead of try to cut your fee out, try to figure out how to do it. Because your first year you might get 50, like a D2, and then some kids are going from D2 to D1, and now that money might jump from $50,000 to $200,000. And it's nice to have somebody like you that's already representing them during that whole process. And if I want to transfer schools, I believe that we have a contract or agreement that you're still looking in my best interest to move up from one school to another. Would that be correct?
Yep.
So you got somebody out there knowing. The good thing is I'm playing basketball. I've got Mike. He knows my value, and he's working for me, and he knows my worth. I mean, better than me trying to figure out what's going on. So I appreciate the information. I think kids need it. You're talking about college, but I think in high school kids, I think if you're going to be a senior, $50,000 could buy you a car in college.
That's it. I've seen a lot of kids, to go get NIL money and blow it and don't have nothing to show for it. So I think, just like a businessman that he's saying is that you need to invest too. You need to put money back for taxes. You got to have the right, the right program, what you're going to do. That money's going to run out. I mean, we talked about Tony Dorsett. We talked about a lot of NFL players. We talked about a lot of NBA players. I mean, they get all this money up front, and you're like, how do you become broke? Well, if you're not investing your money right and you're not doing the right things and you don't have the right people around you, that's what's going to happen. With Michael, I think you're going to have the person that can help you in many different ways. Mike, I do got one question, though, because I know you are doing a sync and you do the NIL and sports management. With the sports manager, can you kind of be an agent too? I'm just asking.
Sorry, one more time.
Are you kind of like an agent? Can you be an agent too? Like, say I'm going to use my daughter. Zoe's about to go to the WNBA draft. Can you represent her in that way too?
So I know a lot of the professional leagues. I haven't studied up on all of them yet, but you do have to actually get certified and licensed through their players associations. That is something I do intend to do here in the coming years. Is get certified by those associations to make sure that I can represent them through the transition from the collegiate to the professional ranks.
No, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Yeah, I want to ask that because, like I said, I just think, down the road, I think you'd be a hell of an agent. I think, whoever joins with you is going to be really pleased. Just telling you, man, just a very, very intelligent young man. Like I said, I'm tickled just to have you on the show. This is our first one to ever have something like this, man, and we get to do it here at Keep It 100 / Between the Line Girls Hoops. Folks, I'm saying, we got his business card up here. Take a look at it, man. Like I said, if you guys have any questions and you can't reach out to me and Coach Vic, and we'll lead you guys in the right direction. Because, like I said, I think if you sign with Michael, you guys are gonna get a great deal, and you're gonna get very, very represented in a good way. So, Mike, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Like I said, looking forward to see what you can do, man. Anytime we can tangle and talk, what's going on in the business, man. We'd love to have you on the show anytime.
No, absolutely, guys. I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk.
I mean, you educated me tonight. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I mean, just the knowledge and the terminology you got to use, man. I was lost on some of those words, but hey, I got Chad GBT. He'll help me figure it out. I love it. Well, Mike, you enjoy the rest of your evening, man. Like I said, good luck to you, everything, in any way that we can help you, me and Coach Vic, any way we can. And we got any kids, we're going to lead them your way. Like I said, I know they're going to be in good hands, not with Allstate, but with Sync. That's what we do here. We keep it 100.
Thank you, guys. Looking forward to connecting down the line.
All right.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
All right.
Well, folks, Mr. Michael Greene with his new company, Sync. Very educated young man. I've worked with his dad for the last 23 years. He runs our company, Capital, Distributing. I watched him make our company grow. So I know where Michael gets it from, because Dad's very intelligent, man. He's all about the business, all about. at one point in time, when we was in the dumps, Gordon brought us out. Took us to another level, and then right now we're one of the number one distributors in the state of Oklahoma. And a lot of that's because of his work. You talking about a young man that's a young man that played college football and played in the Rose Bowl. So he knows what it takes to win and to be a winner. And so his sons and his two daughters, Jacqueline and Jessica, and his beautiful wife, Jody, they've done a great job with their kids. And you can see that, man. You listen to this guy talk. It's like E.F. Hutton. When he talks, you want to listen. And that's what it's all about, man. He educated me because, like I said, I wish if Gabe was still coming through college, I would have hooked him up with Michael. I do got Zoe coming up, and like I said, I don't know if she's going to be worth any NIL money, but I'm saying if she's not, folks, we do got the right person that can help your kid, because, like I said, you're getting 2 for 1. You're not just getting one. You're getting an attorney. You're also going to get a guy that's, is working with the NIL, and he's worked at OU. You're talking about a top-notch program. You don't see OU's. You didn't hear OU's volleyball team and the people that he was under get in trouble. He understands the transfer portal. He understands, what these kids need to make it. So I think you're going to get a great person if you go with Michael Greene and Sync and his new sports management company. I think it's going to be an outstanding deal for him and for his family, though. I think it's going to be really, really to see how far this grows. I think a year from now, you're talking about this guy. You're talking about a guy that's probably going to be one of the top guys in the state and even in the country.
Well, what do you got to lose? He said it was free to come in and visit with him. See what you got. See what your options are. It's free. It's free. Come on. It's free, and you know what? He knows your value. He knows where the avenues are to maybe get you somewhere, get you something. And when you thought you could have got nothing, who knows? You might get $20,000. Who knows? I mean,
that's it. I mean, when you got somebody that's going to represent you and he's going to get the best for the buck, he's going to take care of you, folks. He said free. Why not give him a call? Like I said, his card will be up there. We'll put it up there again for you can see it. As Michael Greene, with his company, Sync Sports Management. Like I said, give him a call, man. If you're looking for somebody to represent you in a good way that's going to take care of you and your family, I say give him a call. But Coach, you know what time it is, folks. It's that time. It's football time. Well, I got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got a lot of kids moving around in high school football. Hey, I get a chance to catch some of these scrimmages, man. We got quarterbacks moving. We got people transferring out. But I'm going to tell you right now, on Keep It 100, Oklahoma High School Sports, watch out for Newcastle. Kyle Albert, I know you got a lot of Let me see if I can get it. Hold on. Kyle Albert said they got 20. They got 20 gold balls, right? 20 gold balls. Where's it at? Right there. Can you see it, Coach? See that CA helmet? They got 20, but Newcastle said, wait a minute. We might be the new kids on the block. And I'm not talking about new kids, the singers. What the new kids used to sing? God,
I don't know.
But I went to that concert when I was young. Please don't go, girl. You're my best friend. You're my loving friend. You will always be mine. But Newcastle said, wait a minute, CA. We coming this year. We got some big things for you. I like to see it. Dell City said, hey, wait a minute, TJ. Don't count us out because we're going to play Kyle Albert in week 1 or 2 or 3, and we're going to get a chance to go head-to-head. We ain't got to wait till the state championship game. Coach, I'm excited about high school football. Harrison, they went out and got a new coach. They got some players coming in. Got a top-notch quarterback just going to be a sophomore. And my man Cantrell. Yes, folks, you see it. Cantrell roofing. Not only can he roof, but he can throw darts. Boy, I'm excited about high school football. Boy, it's going to be good. PCO. Hey, coach over there, Alexander said, wait a minute, we fell short last year, but we got something. But Jake Corbin said, Ta-Ta Yellow Jackets, we still stinging them. We still got coaches coming through. Boy, football's going to be good this year. But everybody know, when you talk high school football, you got to talk about the Bigsby Spartans because they still champ. But Jinx Broken Arrow said, we got something for you. I don't think so. Bigsby still the team to beat. Stillwater said, hey, we ain't too bad over here in 6A small, but I don't know. Tuttle graduate some players. We're going to see. My man Cruz Campbell went on. What can Tuttle bring next? They got a lot of money at Tuttle, so I'm pretty sure they might be getting with Michael to get an NIL quarterback out there. But, Coach, that's what we do. We keep it 100 on this show. I'm glad it's Thursday night getting close to the weekend. I do got a boo-boo on my head, Coach. I got to show you. I cut my head open today, wide open, but I'm okay. Coach, I love
some drop on you? You drop a keg on you?
Man, the razor beat me. My baby said, Dad, I got to go shooting. I'm trying to finish up shaving, trying to get her to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's what I'm talking about. Great players keep working in the dark, and it was dark. Coach, I'm excited for you, though. Cricket Oak. Hey, you're going to see a lot of Cricket Oak stuff on this show because, hey, we got a new man in the myth, my man, Coach V. Congratulations once again to you and the wife in your new journey, and I think you're going to do a great job out there. I know it's going to take some time, but God always puts you in a place where, where he wants you at, and I think this is where he needs to be. So good luck to you and the new team, and hopefully you get them running right off the gun. But this is it for real, folks. I'm leaving. All right. We'll catch you next time on Keep It 100. Oklahoma High School Sports / Between the Line High School Girls Basketball. See ya!